Hey everybody, it's Cindy here, and today I want to talk to you about dealing with rejection. Rejection. Ugh. Ugh. It's not fun. We've all we've all experienced this. Starting with the junior high gym class, right? When we were the last ones picked for the team, maybe. That kind of scenario. Or maybe you were the one little girl on the playground that was left out while four or five other popular girls went and played together on the playground at recess, and you stood by a tree and went, why can't I be part of that group? I'm laughing, but I know these childhood rejections they're just the worst. And then we grow up, right? And then we experience rejection again. We experience it when we don't get the job promotion we think we're perfect for, or we don't get the job that we think we're perfect for, or we're not chosen for the committee, or we lose the election, or we have friends who don't call back, or say they want to have lunch and then seem to always be too busy when we come around to try to schedule something. Or sales, if you're in sales, you deal with this all the time, trying to sell your product or what your company is representing, and people telling you no and that kind of thing. And then there's the midlife dating that I know many of you are going through, and that there's forms of rejection in that all over the place. So I'm going to talk about rejection in general first, and then I'll hone in on rejection regarding dating a little more. Okay, so hang with me here for a minute. So rejection, what's the deal? Why is rejection so hard for some of us to take? No matter in what way it is where we're feeling rejected. Well, let me tell you, what I think it is actually is that, we all want to be liked. We all want to be loved. We all want attention. We all want to be appreciated. I mean, it's kind of a general human desire to have all those things, right? Attention, appreciation, to be chosen, to succeed, to be appreciated. We all want those things. And so when we don't get them and we get what feels like the opposite, where we're not appreciated at all, or we're not chosen, we don't get the part in the play we want, we don't, whatever. It hurts, right? It's like, ugh, ouch. And then we say in our minds, I must not be good enough. Ding, 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 ding. Right? And what that really is, what I really think that is that old file in the back of our heads that we've all got from the growing up years. And I'm not here to say, let's blame our parents for everything. I don't mean that. But the thing is that when we are being raised, even by reasonably healthy human beings, we're told no a lot because they're trying to help us learn how to function in the world in the way they feel is appropriate. So we're told no a lot. Our behavior is curbed a lot by disciplinary words, and maybe worse for some of you, right? But in any case, we're told over and over, yeah, don't do that, don't do that, don't go there, don't touch that, no, you can't have that, no, you can't do that, no, you'll never be able to do that, no. And so when you hear the word no, and that's not possible, and, all those things we hear, even by well-meaning, healthy parents, and things we've said to our kids as parents as well, part of that translates in the head, in our psychology, as I'm not good enough, I'm not okay, maybe I'm not worthy, maybe I'm not lovable, maybe I don't deserve this, okay? So that gets programmed, reprogrammed, and pretty solid in the back of most of our heads. It's a very common thing, but a lot of us aren't conscious of this. We don't know this, but I know this because I've been studying human behavior and psychology for 30 years, and and done a lot of personal and professional development around those things. And so I'm very aware of this. So I'm sharing it with you. So you've got one. You've got some old file in the back of your head. And so now when somebody says, oh, I'm sorry, we've chosen someone else for the position, you go, there's a part of you that goes, I wasn't good enough. I'm not okay. Da, 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 da. So it opens up that old file, that old childhood wound, that old file, and bites you, right? It makes you really aware of it. And then it goes, oh, so it's more than just the moment of not getting the job. It's all the moments stacked up over the years where you felt the same feeling of, oh, I'm not good enough. So it makes it far more powerful than it actually needs to be. Because let's face it, maybe you didn't get the job because you just don't quite have many years of experience as the other person or the person who got it. Or maybe they knew that person better than you, or had a longer relationship with that person and just felt more comfortable hiring the other person. Or maybe they could pay that other person a lot less than they could pay you, and that's why they chose the person. I mean, there are 14 billion reasons why people hire the people that they do, right? And it's not always going to mean that you weren't good enough. It just means that they, in their best decision making with what they knew at the time, they made another decision. Okay, and that's true about all kinds of rejection, but I'm going to move on here. So knowing this is more than just about what's happening in the moment that you're feeling the rejection and the tears come, or the stress, or the negative thoughts, I'm not good enough, I'm not okay, I don't deserve anything, I'm not worthy, all that. What I want you to do is begin to retrain your brain to think differently. Change your mindset about it. Okay. One of the things, a simple thing Jack Canfield teaches about rejection is to say, every time you hear the word no, decide it simply means next. Okay. So if this guy doesn't ask you out and you wish he would, but he doesn't, and he even disappears maybe, then say, okay, fine. No means next. Who's next? Who's next that I might be interested in? Or if you don't get this job, then you say, okay, no, didn't get that one. What's the next job? What's the next position I can apply for? Okay, you see how this works? Then there's another cute little thing he teaches. SW, 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 SW. So 4 SWs, and here's what they stand for. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone is waiting. Okay? Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. So if you can say to yourself, SW, 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 instead of crying or feeling like you're terrible, or you're unlovable, or you don't deserve anything, you could say, oh, SW, 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 SW. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. And move forward. Move forward. Here's another thing. I dare you to adopt the philosophy that everything is always working out for you. If you can believe this, if you can develop a faith in this belief that everything is always working out for you, no matter what it is, no matter what it looks like, no matter what form it takes, if you can believe it, if you can have a mindset that tells you all the time, everything is always working out for me, then if a gentleman rejects you and doesn't write you back online, or doesn't call when he says he's going to, or he doesn't show up for the date, or he says he doesn't want to see you again, or he breaks up with you after 6 months, or divorces you after 30 years, you can go, actually, everything's always working out for me. So, okay, good. See, I'm sitting in a sweet spot to say that now. And I know that because I'm in the best relationship I've been in my entire life with a man. That is, that kind of relationship. Now, I am now finally at age 51 having the healthy, fabulous relationship with a man that I've always wanted. It took me 50 years to find him. 50 years. But anyway, I've been divorced for 6.5, and I didn't find him until 15 months ago. And so those first several years, there was a lot of dating, a lot of rejection, a lot of brokenheartedness on my part, a lot of sadness, a lot of confusion, a lot of, rolling my eyes, you're kidding me, not this again, thing going on. All of that. And when I met Ed and we started having the relationship that we have, I thought to myself, thank God so-and-so broke up with me. Thank God so-and-so rejected me. Thank God I was so hooked on him, but that would have been a disaster. Thank goodness these guys didn't come back around. Thank goodness these guys didn't see the value of being with me. Thank goodness my heart was broken over and over and over again, because if it hadn't been broken every single time before Ed showed up, I would never have met Ed. I would not be with Ed now. And I cannot imagine anything better than this. This is fabulous. So every time my heart got broken, every time a guy said no to me, every time a guy was a jerk to me and I was ghosted and I could go on the stories I could tell you of rejection and dating. I might write a book about it. I'm not kidding. This is like one of my thoughts that I may write a book about, that midlife dating. Every time, I thought I was crushed and stopped dating at different times to take a break because I was so discouraged. I'm so thankful now. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. I don't know who had my back. God, angels, the universe, everybody, all my deceased loved ones. I don't know who ever it was. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because those rejections were the best things that ever happened to me. They were the best things that ever happened to me. And this can be true about not getting the job. This can be true about not getting the loan. This can be true about a friend blowing you off. This can be true about everything, not just dating. Okay. So please keep that in mind. And anytime you're tempted in rejection to say, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I don't deserve this, I want you to go, hey, voice on this shoulder, shh, quiet, and listen to this one over here that says, you're awesome. You're awesome. You just, that we don't know what we don't know about how come they made the decisions that they made. We don't know. Maybe a guy who doesn't call you back, that says he's gonna, had another date with somebody else and she's his rock star and he knows it. And it's like, okay, I'm done with everybody else. Doesn't mean you're bad. Doesn't mean you're not a good woman. It means perhaps he found all that he was looking for, or maybe he stopped dating, or maybe he, changed his mind about online dating. Maybe, who knows? Maybe you look like a woman he used to be married to and he couldn't handle it. There could be so many reasons. So here's a book I want to tell you about right now, those of you dealing with rejection. This is called The 4 Agreements, and this is not about rejection, but yet there's 4 agreements here that Don Miguel Ruiz teaches in this book, and he says if we maintain these 4 agreements with ourselves, that we will always be happy. Okay? Now, 2 of them I'm just going to mention. Boom, just because I'm going to give you all 4. One is be impeccable with your word. So he's saying always be honorable with your word, always speak truth, always, that kind of stuff. And use your voice for good, not for negativity or things, which can deal with this too. Because again, which little voice are you going to listen to in your head? The one that's putting you down based on old tapes in your head, or the one that knows better now, the mature woman, the one that knows, hey, I'm awesome. Don't mess with me. I am awesome. I'm so awesome. You just don't get how awesome I am. Okay. Listen to that voice. Okay. And then the other one is always do your best, which of course, always do our best, right? We get why that helps us be happy. But the 2 I want to highlight today in our conversation about rejection is don't take anything personally, Don says, and don't make any assumptions. Okay, so 2 of the 4 agreements are don't take anything personally, ever. He says don't ever take anything personally, and don't make any assumptions ever about anything anybody does, says, doesn't say, doesn't do. Okay, so if you can adopt those 2 agreements, I'm telling you, this little book, it's a little bitty book. I mean, the print's pretty big. It's 130 pages. It's probably $9 on Amazon. This is worth a read for all kinds of reasons. But just those 2 agreements, if you can get there in your life and not take anything personally and not make assumptions, most of the time you will be happier and healthier emotionally. And then when rejection comes, which basically means someone in some area of your life made a different decision than you were hoping for at the time. That's all it means. Someone made a different decision than you were hoping for at the time. When they do that, you can go, this isn't even about me. I don't need to take this personally. I don't know what led to that person's decision to never call me again. I don't know why the guy wasn't at the restaurant we said we were going to meet at for dinner. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with that person. And I'm not going to sit here and assume this because I'm not okay. Don't do that to yourselves, ladies. Don't. I know the temptation. I understand. I've been there. I've done it to myself. I've sat. When guys would reject me, I think, oh, is it because I'm overweight, 25 pounds overweight? Or is it because I have 2 teenagers? Or is it because, I'm brunette, I'm not blonde? Is it because I said that on the phone the other night that, or is it because on my profile I put this? I would go over things and over things and over things. It's like, oh my goodness gracious. Ladies, we got to love ourselves better than that. And I do now. And it's been a transformation, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm wanting to walk you guys, hold your hands, whatever, drag you, whatever it takes for you to love yourselves enough. See, because when we love ourselves so much and we're confident in the women that we are, not that we're perfect or egotistical or anything, we're just confident, strong women who are loving towards ourselves. When we are, then when we don't get the job, we don't win the election, we get rejected by, so to speak, rejected by a man or a woman if you're dating women, whichever, rejected in dating. We're going to go, oh, okay, whatever. No means next. Because their choices, other people's choices regarding us will not rattle us to the core like they do when we don't love ourselves enough. When you love yourself so much, another person's choices and behaviors will not shake you anymore. It'll be the rare occasion that you get kind of tripped up, stopped up, or by someone else's behavior. And that's what I wish for all of you, every single one of you, that you love yourself so much, you get so strong, you develop skin so thick that you're still a loving, peaceful, kind human being, and strong, confident, brave, and courageous. And you know that nobody can cause you to go, question your value. No, you decide your value. No one else does. Reject rejection. Reject rejection. Talk to you again soon.